Hello everyone, today we're going to be talking about repairing your skin barrier for mature skin. Now for those of you who are technically younger, but you still feel like you have an impaired skin barrier or you have eczema or psoriasis, you may find this helpful. So I did do a live on this and it was rather long, and I had a couple people say that they missed parts of it and they didn't have time to watch the whole thing. So I'm basically going to do a shorter video kind of summarizing some of the things that we talked about. The video, if you want to catch the live, I'll put the link up there, but it's a lot more involved. Okay, so when you feel like you have an impaired skin barrier, and you watch these videos that say, you can repair your skin barrier in 3 days or 7 days or, whatever it is. Those of you who have psoriasis or eczema or have deep cuts in your hands know that it takes a while longer for your skin to repair itself. Now, what skincare can do is it can actually calm the symptoms of an impaired skin barrier and actually help contribute to faster healing. But again, if you don't have an impaired, if you have an impaired skin barrier, the skincare products are only going to temporarily calm those symptoms, such as redness, inflammation, itchiness, flakiness, cracking, or peeling. Now, if you have these symptoms for long periods of time, that's how you know that you may have a impaired barrier function. So, and you actually may be using some skincare products that have some ingredients in there that are contributing towards an impaired barrier function. And this is why you have to be careful when choosing products, because everyone has an individual skin imprint where you have an individual skin microbiome that is different. That's why your friends can use a certain product and it works on them, and for you it doesn't work, or worse, you even had a bad reaction to it. So specifically, we're going to be talking about a ceramide that actually helps repair your barrier function. And unfortunately, as we get older, our ceramide production actually slows down, especially for women. Now, Ceramide 2, otherwise known as Ceramide NS or NG, that's what you'll see in the ingredients list. This is the synthetic form of the Ceramide 2 that's actually in our skin. Now, ceramides make up about up to 30 to 50% of what's in our skin. It's basically the fats or lipids in our skin cell. So how it translates into our skin is when you have enough of them. If you've ever thought like you cut yourself and you're like, oh, that hurt, and you look at your finger, wherever you cut, and it didn't cut that, part of it is because of you had enough fats and lipids in your skin. When you have an impaired barrier function, so our ceramide production actually reduces in the wintertime. So that's why it's more common to see cracked hands or fingers, especially in the areas where you bend it a lot, where it just cuts open. So you have these deep cuts and then they take a long time to heal, because ceramide 2 also contributes towards a quicker time in wound healing. So Ceramide 2 basically helps in repairing and restoring its skin barrier. So this is why we're talking about this specific ceramide. It actually improves water binding properties in our skin, and it actually reduces inflammation. So it basically helps balance out the water and oil retention abilities in our skin to prevent tool. So ceramides form a protective layer on the skin to prevent it from getting injured, and also it forms a protective layer to protect it from environmental free radicals. And so this is why when you have an impaired skin barrier for long periods of time, you can cause the skin to age a lot faster. So the flip side of doing a lot of these anti-aging procedures or treatments where it's forcing your skin to shed a lot of skin to the point where you're experiencing TUL, transepidermal water loss, you're causing the skin cells to shed faster than it can hold onto water. This is where it can lead to redness, inflammation, sensitivity, dryness, and cracking. So when people say, I have a sensitive skin type, believe it or not, someone who has sensitive skin is telling me that they have an impaired barrier function, because the whole point of your skin is to protect your skin from the external environments. So when someone says, I react to ingredients easily, it's telling me two things. They have an impaired barrier function, and or their skin microbiome is not as healthy as it could be. So this is why having ceramides is important. And unfortunately, as we get older, our own skin's ceramide production slows down. So I'm going to be offering you 3 tips on how to repair your skin. And like I said in the very beginning of the video, is that if you think that repairing your impaired barrier function is only going to take 3 days or 7 days, or someone is saying how I repaired my own skin barrier in a few days, they don't know what they're talking about. Okay, and maybe they didn't even have an impaired barrier function. Okay, so the first one we're going to be talking about is food, because food is what the body converts some of the fats, essential fatty acids that we're ingesting, to convert that to make ceramides in our skin. Okay, so we're going to blow through this on 3 ways that you can help repair your skin barrier, because I know a lot of people wanted to know about the skincare products. Okay, so that's direct feedback from my clients here. Okay, so the first one is food. We're going to be talking about that. Food is actually the most important, because that's what your body is going to draw from its essential fatty acids to create the or to take from the sphingolipids and the sphingomyelins to create the fats, the lipids that are in and around the skin cells, to create the cell signaling to make the skin barrier. Okay, so here are some foods that are high in sphingolipids and sphingomyelin. These are the more higher ones. Even though some of you may say that I don't take this as a part of my regular diet, I'm just letting you know. Okay, so the first one is going to be dairy products, especially not only milk, but especially cream, butter, and cheese. These are higher, they're going to be higher in sphingomyelins, as well as eggs. Some of the phytoceramides that you could be taking, I know they're common allergens. They're going to be wheat, rice, oats, corn, sweet potato, soy, and nuts. And you can take this as a supplement as well. So number 2 is going to be supplements. I recommend supplements for post-menopausal women. Part of the reason is as we age, everything slows down, including stomach acid, and that's what helps absorb the nutrients from the foods into our body. So the supplementation is, and I'll put links below for all the different supplements. The one I specifically want to talk about is, yes, it is dairy, but it's colostrum. There are studies that are coming out. One of them was, granted, one was a 12-week one. The other one was, I think, a 6-month one, but both for fungal acne, very stubborn acne, and for people who also had impaired barrier function with colostrum. So for those of you who don't know, colostrum is the first thick, rich, it's the first part of the breast milk that comes out in all mammals, including humans. But this specifically, it's not human. This one is from bovine or cow. So it basically looks like, non-fat or, dry milk, or like a creamer or something. So it is high in these lipids, but also not only that, it has lactoferrin, which help specifically for postmenopausal women, helps regulate iron absorption. That's important. But also for people who have postmenopausal, it helps with bone loss. It prevents bone loss, increases bone mass, and it has been shown to help people who have, like me, osteopenia. So, and osteoporosis. So that can be part of a supplementation. Now we're going to be talking about skincare products. So the first one I'm going to be talking about is one that is near and dear to my heart, because I've used it with all different types of clients. This can be used for all skin conditions, including rosacea, sensitive skin, dry skin, acne skin. It doesn't have any silicones. It doesn't have any preservatives. It's fragrance free. It doesn't have sodium benzoate. It doesn't have any of the synthetic chemicals. Now, the reason why I use this ceramide serum, over ceramide creams is because creams are going to be higher in waxes and oils, and they sit on top of the skin. They're higher in occlusive ingredients. I prefer a serum because it can get well absorbed into the skin, right? Because that's where the ceramides are going to be. So this is called MD Dermaceutical, and there is a special, I'll put a link below. It ends up going to be like, I don't know, 20 something, $26 or something. But so if you take a look, this is a cream gel. That's how I describe it. So it's not exactly, it's easily absorbed into the skin, and it's formulated to be used with and layered with creams as well as, see, and there's no sticky, so there's no butylene glycol, no propylene glycol, nothing like that in there, no petroleum-based products in here. And then on top of it, you can layer a moisturizer on there. Now here is the ingredients list here. I'm gonna put it up here. And if you notice, the first ingredient is aloe vera juice. And why I like that is because when you take aloe vera straight from the plant, the pH is typically closer to the skin's pH, so it's gonna be slightly acidic. But with formulation, they can dilute it to make it neutral, which is why sometimes in place of water, such as this, they will use aloe vera juice. It's rich in natural polysaccharides, which are natural humectants. So this is a good balance of humectants, emollients, and occlusive agents, but not so high in occlusive agents because they know that you're going to apply a cream on top of that because it's a serum. Now, if you look here, not only that, it has sunflower oil. Now, sunflower oil, it's 68% ceramides. It's higher in omega-6, which the mature skin lacks. Now, don't get confused. When people hear omega-6, they hear bad. Yes, that's for the diet, but as far as the skin goes, you want higher amounts of omega-6, especially when it's mature skin. It also has jojoba oil, or wax ester. The natural jojoba oil contains up to 96% ceramide. So this is why it's the most similar to human sebum, and your skin naturally assimilates that because it mimics human sebum. It has tocopherol acetate, vitamin E as a natural antioxidant, but it also has phenoxyethanol as well as ethyl hexaglycerin to help preserve it. It serves as a natural conditioning agent, but it also reduces odor-causing bacteria to be shelf stable. So not much in the fact of a long ingredients list. Now there are other ones that I have that I kind of went through Amazon to look for ceramide serum. The first one is Cocoa Kind. Now there are some pros. The ingredients are actually very similar to what I just listed for the MD Dermaceutical Dewdrops, but the thing I did not like as far as cons is it did have sodium benzoate as a preservative. It was number 12 on the list, so it was actually pretty high on the list. The humectants that they use is glycerin and beta-glucan. And instead of jojoba oil, which is more costly, they use squalane, which is derived typically from olives. And so olive oil only contains about 10% ceramide. And then they did use cetyl alcohol, fatty alcohol. So it may cause breakouts for people who are sensitive or breakout prone. And then they had gums and thickeners to help restore the skin barrier. The other one was Honest Beauty, which is a hydrogel cream. So it's a little bit heavier. They, again, very similar to MD Dermaceutical, is paraben free. No silicones. They do use jojoba oil. The con is the fourth ingredient, polyglycerol, number 4, isosterate, plant-based chemical. It gives it a silky texture instead of using silicone. So that one, because it also has squalane, not recommended for breakout prone skin or sensitive skin. Now, the more popular brands like Paula's Choice, CeraVe, they did have different variations, a high amount of dimethicone, vinyl dimethicone, dipropylene glycol, stabilizers, more fatty alcohols than actual ceramides. So And if you have any questions of ones that you're looking at, then go ahead and put it in the comments below. But I just wanted to show you some of the ones that are the more cleaner ones. And again, the links are in the description below. So if you have any questions, let me know, because remember, makeup is an art, skincare is a science. We'll see you in the next video.